A meteor shower that occurs when sky and weather conditions are just right is probably one of the most spectacular astronomical events that you can observe. During a good show, sometimes hundreds of shooting stars and fireballs streak across the sky every hour. A meteoroid is basically a rock flying around in outer space. If one of those space rocks enters the Earth's atmosphere, it is then called a meteor. The Earth's gravity pulls the meteor towards it, and the resistance the meteor experiences makes it very, very hot. What we see from the ground is actually the glowing hot air around the superhot space rock as it enters the Earth's atmosphere. Most meteors come from debris left behind from comets.
So comets are basically dirty snowballs that are orbiting around our solar system. And they're made up of different components like gas and dust and ice and little bits of rocks and things like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a model comet here in the lab so you guys can see the different components of a comet and see how, as that comet melts when it gets close to the sun, it sheds debris that eventually will become a meteor shower. So we're going to start out with just water, and water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen, the same elements that were present in the very early formation of the solar system. Comets also contain space dust, and that's like minerals and stuff like that. Now I have some regular old dirt to represent the space dust. You have to keep in mind that dirt here on Earth contains living things like fungi and bacteria, which would not be present in a comet. It would just be the minerals. I'm going to put just a little bit of the dirt in there. And then the comets also contain organic materials. So things that contain carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. Basically the elements that make up the vast majority of life are those organic compounds. And so even in the early formation of the solar system, there were some very simple sugars present. So we're actually using soda to represent those sugars. And then ammonia, which is the same kind of stuff that makes window cleaner so stinky. That's another organic material that you might find in the comet. I'm going to stir up our ingredients to get it all evenly mixed because they're all mixed up together. And outer space is generally really cold. So the comet's also going to contain carbon dioxide, but when it's far away from the sun, it's frozen solid. So have you guys ever seen dry ice? Okay, so it's basically carbon dioxide that is frozen, and it doesn't ever have a liquid state. And I'm going to stir it up. So what this is doing is this is well below freezing temperatures. So it's essentially freezing solid everything that I put into the bowl. So what I'm going to have you do, if you'll come around here with me, is kind of hold the bag up just a little bit right over the bowl since it might be a little bit messy. And don't hold it too hard because I don't know if you guys can tell, see how it lets some of the air out. There you go. The carbon dioxide is turning directly. I'm going to put it down into the bowl this time. Okay, so let's see if we have a comet. All right, and it's not perfectly round, but that is our comet. And you can see that as the dry ice is sublimating, turning back into gas, that it's essentially pieces of the comet are melting off. And so it gets really hot, and as the comet passes by the sun and it heats up and that carbon dioxide and the ice melts, little plumes come off the back of the comet, and that's what leaves a debris trail behind. And when the Earth passes through that debris stream, they burn up in our atmosphere and become a meteor shower.
Many comets have left trails in different regions along the path of the Earth's orbit, so the Earth predictably encounters these debris fields as it goes around the sun through the course of a year. We can count on regular occurrences of these meteor showers during certain times of the year. The Lyrids, Perseids, Orionids, Leonids, and Geminids are all major meteor showers associated with comet trails. Meteor showers are usually named for the constellation in the region of the sky where they appear to originate. If you watch a meteor shower, you may notice that they appear to be all over the sky, but the tails point back to the same general region. This region, where all the meteors seem to come from, is called the radiant. This optical illusion is all a matter of perspective. The meteors are usually coming towards us from the same angle, but when they get closer to us as they enter the atmosphere, the effect of perspective makes them seem to get further apart. It's like looking at train tracks. Even though we know that they're parallel to one another, off in the distance, it looks like the train tracks come together. Usually the size of particles entering the Earth's atmosphere is no larger than a grain of sand, so they burn up really quickly and produce a spectacular show. Very rarely, a really large piece of meteor makes it all the way through the atmosphere and falls to Earth. This is called a meteorite. Large impacts by meteorites are very rare, but NASA scientists say that thousands of tiny specks of space rock hit the ground every year, mostly unnoticed. Most meteorites weigh less than 1 pound, and only 5 to 10% of meteors make it through the Earth's atmosphere. Extremely rarely, a large meteoroid, which comes from an asteroid rather than a meteor shower, impacts Earth. Meteor Crater in Arizona is one such location. So don't worry that any space rocks are going to be causing major problems by crashing into Earth anytime soon. Check your calendar for a meteor shower, set up a sleeping bag on the lawn, and watch one of the most spectacular shows in the sky.